my project is called counteragifFail, and now I will tell you why I called it so. So we have this beautiful quote here, and what is it is telling us? It is describing the way that art actually impacts people, and I think it's a very important thing now when we are trying to figure it out what is actually AGI for us, to understand what is this core little things that differentiate this AGI from something really common for us. And as my project was about book recommendation system, I had this question. So we are trying to help the artist to find his audience. And since the impact is the main target of any artist, is it even possible to measure the impact of a piece of art on human being? And okay, this little presentation is too little for such conversation, but I will try to tell you what I mean by that. So, most common approach to recommendation systems is K-means clustering plus Disney for visualization, and it works quite good for some pieces of art. For example, music. As some of you could know, there is a very cool Spotify API with which you can have some nice stuff. And why I used it? Because I wanted to overcome the curse of popularity, because all the platforms are pitching for us the most popular tracks. And if we want to find something not so common, we need to have some tricks sometimes. So like for music, it works very good. And you can take a look on the features Spotify API have. And it's like energy, speechlessness, acousticness, danceability, and it all very nicely is described by numbers. And my goal was to identify such feature for written text. And I think everybody understands that it's much more, much harder, because do we have like acousticness and danceability for written text? Not really. And why do I assume that this approach has no meaning for the book's case? I mean, by approach, I mean K-means plus Disney for visualization. You can take a look on like the most popular Kaggle's dataset on books, and what features we have there. We have book ID, title, authors, language code, I don't know what it is about, number of pages, and all these features are not really impacting the text inside of your books. Like you say title, embedding titles and using them for similarity search seems meaningless, as titles quite often do not represent either plot or writing style. And of course, one of the most popular approach for recommending books is to do it based on reviews. But I think that finding a nice book for yourself is a very personal thing, and actually other people reviews, if these people are not really close to you, it's not often successful. So which ideas, okay, my main idea of my project was to recommend book not based on such features as like title or reviews or popularity, but on the text itself. And here's the most important problem comes, it's authorship rights. And actually we cannot take all the text of all the books for our little project, because it's actually not legal. And I will tell you what, but I wanted to use the like text itself. And my first idea was fine-tune LLM to detect authorship. And if it fails, take it as a win, not fault, and then consider that the author it gave you as the one you should take into account. But cons of this approach, like a lot of cons, and it was just quite strategy. And the second one, do some research on linguistic stack similarity measures, and then try and see how good semantic search could be for this case. And okay, so I scrapped 5,000 quotes from Goodreads and did semantic search on it. And I have a big demo for this where I'm trying different quotes, but you can see how it works. it giving you the authors and the scores. So it's this cosine similarity score actually, because it's the most common approach to semantic search. And actually it works quite good. But sometimes it stacks to some words which are uncommon. Like if you have some word like dagger or butterfly, like butterfly is actually quite common, but it works not as expected. And like my what I wanted to overcome is this thing actually. And what I sorry, I'm a bit anxious. So what I used for that is Barrows Delta. And Barrows Delta is the thing linguists use when they want to detect authorship of the text. And I will not get into this math too hard, but actually we have just this core, and we have this Barrows delta, this one text and the other text, and we see that it's actually also can be considered as a distance, but a bit different from the cosine similarity. And I will show you my result.
Time check, 2-minute warning.
Yeah, sorry. Yes, my result is this stylometer delta seeker. And here you can just choose some book and run the scores for it. And you can tell me if you think that it works good or not, because I've got quite well-known books for that and quite well-known authors. So sorry, I think my time is over. Thank you for having me.
All right, nice. Thank you, Alina, for the counteragifFail. Any questions, comments from our judges?
I just wonder if, through the learnings that you got here in terms of applicability to DataRobot, were there things that, that you think we could add to DataRobot, which would help improve for customers?
Yeah, I didn't go through all of my slides, but actually I think we can add Barrows delta to DataRobot for authorship use cases for sure. And I think it could work quite good, because for me it worked well. And I know that authorship use case is quite well spread. So
okay, thank you.
So I have a question that's very similar. So I understand the book recommendation as the example, but could you give some other examples or ideas of where you think our customers could use this, like thinking about review processes, recommendations, other things like that?
Like I mentioned on the slide, like high quality recommendation systems are not currently represented on the market, and I think we could work on that. When you are telling about the customers, you say like what particular use cases could be for any recommendations, or like it could be anything, like I don't know, like Medium articles or something like that. I know that people do a lot of apps based on GenAI, which gives such recommendation. But I think like the first thing for me was like art, and I think recommendation systems for some like artworks is also good thing, like for mental health hospitals or something like that, like for sure. And it could be an interesting use case.
That's great. One thing I would suggest maybe, Alina, can you meet with like Nate and Mary? I think it'll be good to sort of think about like, is there something we can do with this in terms of featureizing to get more signal out of sort of the text that we get in, how we apply it even into the GenAI use cases. I think you're sort of scratching something important, but I think we need to sort of develop it a little bit. So I would love to sort of have that as an offline next step on this one.
Thank you. I would be happy.
Excellent.
Really nice. Last call for any questions, comments. Sounds like there's some very curious conversations and sounds like there'll be some follow-up ideation with you, Alina. So good to have those discussions. Give it up for Alina and counteragifFail team.